Poly Humboldt at the quad. I'm going to turn a little bit and get a look at everything out here. People are making signs and just basically occupying the space. So we're here going to talk with an activist who was injured last night as police attempted to break down a barrier, enter Siemens Hall, and physically remove students who were staging a sit-in for protest.
My name's Bellamy Divine, and for me and like the people that I surround myself with, it's kind of like no question that would be part of it all, because it's like if you don't get people's attention, they're not going to listen, and if you don't disrupt the status quo, people become complacent, and we're just going to continue doing what has been happening, which is genocide, which is war, which is all these terrible things that are hurting everyone around us. You know, people say like, oh, like Gaza, it's like on the other side of the world, but no, those same systems that are oppressing them are oppressing us, are oppressing everyone. So liberation for them is liberation for everybody, and we really wanted to highlight that. And so, making it as it has to be against the police, because the police are the ones in power that are making everyone's lives so miserable, you know? So, I mean, we asked them to leave, and they didn't leave, so you can guess what happens next, you know?
Right, right. So can you tell us how you got this Band-Aid on your forehead? What's under the Band-Aid? What's going on here?
Yeah, basically, you know, once the prayer started, that's when the police started pushing and breaking down our barricade and pushing on our bodies. I just so happened to be in the front. Maybe,
I saw you.
Yeah. Maybe I was vastly unprepared in my little Birkenstocks and green shorts, but I was there anyways.
I mean, were you expecting that kind of police action?
Maybe it was
Or
naive.
Police presence
Yeah.
to show up?
Yeah, maybe it was naive of me to believe that the police would enact violence on students, knowing the history. But,
Right.
you know, once I was in it, I didn't really care what I was wearing, because it was like, well, I'm here and this is the place that I'm meant to be in, you know?
Right.
And if that means, you know, going to the hospital, then so be it. But when they started pushing, you can see in the video partially of it, but unfortunately I'm pretty short, so
Yeah.
I was hidden from view. But basically, I was pushed on with the shield,
Yeah.
and
You can see
Yeah.
when the first pushing starts,
yeah,
you are visible there, and it's clear that you are getting smashed.
yeah, I was getting pretty smushed in there,
Yeah.
and it was really scary. There's a lot of things happening at once, because I was getting pushed with the shield,
Yeah.
while I was arm in arm with the people next to me. So all I was just trying to like hold my ground and make sure that we weren't moving more backwards than we already were.
Mm-hmm.
And the people behind me were helping by pushing me forwards as well. And so while that was happening, I was trying not to get pushed by the shield, and because of that, the officer that I was sort of face to face with pushed it up against my jaw here.
Oh.
And it's still really tender. I don't know if it looks bad, but it's a bit swollen maybe. And you know, that hurt. And then I got punched repeatedly in my sternum. And I feel like maybe they were trying to knock the wind out of me or something. I'm not sure what their goal was
You
there.
mean the policeman was punching you? One of them
Yeah, one of them was punching me.
multiple?
I'm not sure
Right.
what person, you know, was doing
Yeah.
what, because I was out the side. I couldn't really see.
Right.
And then part of the video, you can see there's one officer that is, you know, elbow pushing down,
Yes.
and that was going right here on my head.
Okay, so that elbow connected with your head.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think most people saw that elbow.
Yeah, and that one was connected to my head, and also, you know, baton after that. And I, at a certain point, they got hold of my wrists, and I tried to turn my wrists so they would release the grasp, but that unfortunately unlinked me from the people I was linked with. So at that point, they were able to disconnect me from everyone else and throw me out. And I was,
So they did
yeah.
remove you from the building.
Yeah, they removed me from the building, and I was down on the ground, and they handcuffed me, and they handcuffed me so tightly. I don't know if it will show up on camera, but it's pretty red, and it was pinching me very severely. But I was back, after I was back in the paddy wagon, and after when I got to the ER, they were taking a look at it, and this thumb is still numb, and they told me it'll probably come back in 2 weeks. But yeah, that nerve is pinched, and it was like that for several hours, so there's a little bit of damage there for sure, but it'll come back. So yeah, and they cleaned up my bandages and stuff. If it was a concussion, they couldn't really tell because it had been so many hours after the initial injury that I was able to go to the ER. So yeah.
Point the mic at you.
Yeah. Yeah, and while I was down, I had my glasses in my hand because I didn't want them to get crunched, and I'm not sure who took it out of my hand because I was on the ground, but I can only assume it was the officer that also took my glasses away from me, so then I couldn't see anything even if I wanted to when I was inside the paddy wagon. But
when did you get them back?
I still don't have them. These are a different pair.
Yours.
Yeah, these are a different pair. They make me look a little bit like a nerd. I want my sexy pair back, please. If anybody has my sexy pair, no, someone has it. They have it for me. I just haven't met up with them yet to get them back.
Well, we hope you get your sexy back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really brutal, and obviously the adrenaline the whole time was I was just in the paddy wagon, all the adrenaline running through me. So it was only hours afterwards I was realizing oh shoot, my hand really hurts. Oh shoot, my chest hurts. Oh shoot, my jaw is really weird and fucked up.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even notice I was bleeding out of my head until my buddy in the paddy wagon was like, hey bro, you're bleeding. And I was like, no way. And I checked it with my knee. I was like, oh, there's blood.
Oh.
But yeah, it was wild. They did have a medic come see us at a certain point. But they weren't able to get us water or access bathroom or ibuprofen or basically anything. Yeah, of importance. They were just there to look at us, I guess.
So were you just detained, or did they arrest you?
That's pretty interesting, actually. When I was in the paddy wagon, they didn't really tell me anything. They just sort of put me in there, and then once they opened it back up again, and the other guy was in there, we were like, hey, are we being arrested? And they said yes. And we asked them, what are we being arrested for? And they said, we don't know. And multiple times, every time they opened the door to talk to us or something, or we were telling them something, we asked them multiple times, hey, are we being arrested? And they would always say yes, but they would always say, we don't know. And at a certain point, later in the night, because we got arrested around maybe 7 and only got released at 10:45. Right. So it was a good couple hours.
So were they, you mean released from the wagon? Or?
Released from they gave us a citation. Okay. At the end of the day. They drove us down to the city hall, which they didn't really tell us where we were going. But they didn't tell us where we were going, but once we were at City Hall, they sort of gave us our citations and removed our the zip tie cuffs. And so currently I'm dealing with a citation for trespassing and resisting arrest. Of what arrest? I couldn't tell you.
Arrest for what?
Arrest for what? That's a great question.
Right. So you're
I don't know the answer
resisting
to
an
that.
arrest that they weren't able to articulate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Exactly.
How many people were in the paddy wagon with you?
Just me and one other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that also somebody who was removed from the building, or were they outside?
That was someone who was also removed from the building. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
As far as other people being detained and arrested, I'm not really sure about all that.
Right. Okay.
All I know is what was happening in the paddy wagon because they didn't really let us, talk to anybody.
Got it. How do you feel the response from the administration was in regard to the protest?
I would say I haven't really, there hasn't really been anything of called out, like, President Tom Jackson, hello, what are you saying? Like, what are you talking, like please say something. Like, we're not getting anything from him at all, like usual. And it's absolutely disgusting how the admin will turn their backs on students and turn their backs on all the people in this community simply because of a face that they want to keep up and a certain level of prestige that they're clamoring to get that they will never get, you know? And rather than caring about the students they already have here and listening to us, they rather protect their property and under the guise of trying to keep people safe while simultaneously beating us and arresting us for no clear reason. You know, it's absolutely evil and abhorrent that they would do these things. And I'm fully ready to accept any consequence that comes my way because I know no matter what, they will keep changing the rules in order to benefit themselves. So to me, there's no question of, oh, I should play it safe because this rule. It's like I have the opportunity and the privilege to be able to go against all of that, so why shouldn't I, you know? People with healthcare to the front. Yeah, I went to the ER because I could, you know, and I encourage, you know, people who feel called to it to, you know, obviously getting beat up by police isn't the answer, but it definitely shows the true colors of the people behind that uniform, you know, and what they're actually fighting for. Because if they really wanted to protect students, they wouldn't be beating them.
Thank you. Do you have any other thoughts, anything you want to talk about or mention?
I just want to share that, you know, this whole amazing, like, I am so unbelievably proud of everyone that was there last night and everyone, especially from the people from the outside. I want to say a huge, huge thank you to all the angels that were out there helping us, yelling, taking videos and recording. That is so helpful, and it is so beautiful to see the community rally around like this. And it's something that I was really nervous about how the momentum would diminish, but it hasn't. I mean, we have so many people here, and there's gonna be so many more, and I'm so proud of absolutely everybody who has taken the time out of their days, who has, you know, changed their schedules and changed their life for a little bit for this cause. And it just shows that, like, we're more powerful together than we ever were separate. And, you know, my heart goes out to everybody else who was injured. I definitely didn't have the worst. There's people with staples in their head currently. And I give my love and I give my prayers to everybody out there, and I hope that, you know, people that are sitting by and watching, that rather than feeling helpless by this situation, they feel encouraged by it. And, you know, if you're able and you're willing, please come out and help us and make the university say and disclose what they're paying for and divest from those companies that are promoting genocide, among so many other huge issues that we are facing right now.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you giving me the full insight and the scoop here with what you went through and your feelings about it. I know that can't have been easy, so
No.
thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.